Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector, and as we all know, FNAF World is one of the most important games in the FNAF franchise. This game changed the series forever. It introduced Baby, the humorous undertone that would follow in later installments, but most importantly, it introduced FNAF voices. Of course, we had things like Phone Guy, Phone Dude, and Breathing in FNAF 4, but we never had full-on animatronic voice acting. Sister Location introduced it to the main series, and ever since then, it's been in every single FNAF game. However, not all the animatronics have a voice yet, and that's why today we're going to be counting down the top 10 FNAF characters I personally believe need a voice. Keep in mind, if they have a voice in any form, it is going to be counted as them having a voice, for example, Withered Foxy in FNAF World, or Bonnie and Chica in Showtime. Before we jump right into number 10, make sure you click that subscribe button. My main goal for 2021 is to reach 100,000 subscribers, so if you guys could subscribe, it would really mean a lot. And with all that intro stuff out of the way, let's jump right into the top 10. Kicking us off in the top 10, we have Jack-O-Bonnie. Honestly, I was really surprised Illumix didn't give him a voice in FNAF AR. Illumix brought back Jack-O-Chica's voice actress from Ultimate Custom Night, and I'm just really surprised they didn't want to give a voice to a character that didn't even have one. I think it's very important he gets a voice someday because he's always been in the shadow of Jack-O-Chica. On top of being excluded from UCN altogether, he has hardly any merch. At this point though, I kind of doubt it'll happen, that's why it's the lowest on the list. So coming in at number 10 is Jack-O-Bonnie. Let's move on to number 9. Coming in at number 9, we have RWQFSFASXC, otherwise known as Shadow Bonnie. Shadow Bonnie's a character that's been around since FNAF 2 and still doesn't have a voice. This has always been really odd to me because I feel like voice lines could give us a little bit of a hint about what his purpose is for existing. I suppose you could group Shadow Freddy here as well, but he hasn't been in nearly as many games as Shadow Bonnie has and doesn't really have the same popularity. I can imagine their voices having a very glitchy, menacing, dark undertone to them. Hopefully, if they return for Into Madness, we can get some voices for these guys. So coming in at number 9 is Shadow Bonnie, and I guess Shadow Freddy. Let's move on to number 8. Coming in at number 8 is Lowbit, another character that I'm very surprised doesn't have an official voice yet. She's appeared in Sister Location, Sister Location Custom Night, FNAF World, Ultimate Custom Night, Help Wanted, so many appearances and no voice. Granted, I guess in most of those appearances, she's just an extra add-on secret character, like in UCN she's a part of the DD roster, and Help Wanted she's just in hard mode, but still. I don't know if Illumix will ever consider adding Lowbit to FNAF AR, but she might get a voice there, and he might also get a voice in Into Madness. We'll just have to see. So coming in at number 8 is Lowbit. Let's move on to number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have Nightmare Mangle. This is probably the most forgotten FNAF 4 animatronic. She was excluded from FNAF World altogether, and she wasn't in VR, the only Halloween character to not be there. His only notable appearance since his debut in FNAF 4 Halloween Edition was an Ultimate Custom Night, and even there he was greatly overshadowed. The only chance I see for this character getting a voice is in FNAF AR, so Illumix, if you're watching this, please give him a voice. So coming in at number 7 is Nightmare Mangle. Let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6 and barely missing the top 5, we have Plushtrap. I was debating between Nightmare Mangle and Plushtrap which one to put higher, but ultimately I think Plushtrap deserves a voice more. Once again, similar to Jack-O-Bonnie, I'm really surprised Illumix didn't give him a voice. Plushtrap was 11 months late to FNAF AR, and I'm really surprised Illumix didn't give him a voice in that time. By the way, all the characters I've mentioned on this list have fan voices. Some of them actually sound canon really good, and I'm really surprised that Plushtrap of all animatronics doesn't have a voice. Honestly, I could understand for a character like Lowbit or Shadow Bonnie, but Plushtrap? Keep in mind that numbers 5 through 3 can honestly be switched around any way you like. With that being said, kicking us off in the top 5, we have Nightmare Foxy. Along with Jack-O-Bonnie, he was the only FNAF 4 character excluded from Ultimate Custom Night. Personally, I've always found it odd that all the extra FNAF 4 characters have voices: Nightmare BB, Nightmare EO, Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare, but the main cast really doesn't. Obviously, Nightmare Freddy has a voice, and Nightmare Chica got a voice in Foxy Fighters, but that's it. Of all the characters I've listed so far though, I am fairly confident Nightmare Foxy will get a voice in FNAF AR. So with that being said, Nightmare Foxy comes in at number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4 is Nightmare Bonnie. Basically, everything I said about Nightmare Foxy applies here. I'm just giving Nightmare Bonnie the slight edge because I do feel like he was robbed of a voice in Ultimate Custom Night. Not much else to say other than him getting a voice in FNAF AR is a very real possibility. So coming in at number 4 is Nightmare Bonnie. Let's move on to the top 3. Kicking us off in the top 3, we have Withered Freddy, one of the very few FNAF 2 characters that doesn't have a voice, and I think his popularity would really benefit from this. Sure, he hasn't been in a crazy amount of games, I mean UCM was his last appearance, but still. You could debate that 2 of the main 4 FNAF animatronics should be higher than him, but personally I don't think so. Voice lines are a great way to express a character's lore, and personally I think Withered Freddy would really benefit from these. So kicking us off in the top 3 is Withered Freddy, let's move on to the top 2. Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mangle, BB, JJ, The Puppet, Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, and Withered Foxy all have voices. I think we can all agree that that is the main FNAF 2 cast, excluding the Endos, the Shadows, the Withered Freddys. I think we can all agree that is the main cast of FNAF 2. But wait a second, one of the main characters from that game is missing. He's also on the cover of the game. Poor Withered Freddy. On top of being one of the only FNAF 2 characters excluded from Ultimate Custom Night, he doesn't have a voice, which really doesn't help his case. It really sucks that he always has, and probably always will be known as that one Freddy recolor. If number 1 didn't exist, he definitely deserves the award for character that needs a voice the most. Hopefully, when he's inevitably added into FNAF AR, he will finally get what he deserves. It's even more humiliating when you realize JJ, a character who just does basically nothing, has a voice before you. However, there is one more character that I think is deserving of a voice even more than Withered Freddy. So without further ado, let's just jump into that. Coming in at number 2 is Withered Freddy. Let's move on to number 1. Coming in at number 1 is Golden Freddy. This character has been around so long, since the first game, and doesn't have a voice yet. It really sucks because there's been multiple opportunities in UCN, in AR, and they just haven't come to fruition. So much lore could be revealed through his voice lines and his backstory, and that's why I've personally chose him as number 1. And with that being said, that is the top 10 FNAF characters I personally think need a voice. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Tell me your top 10 list in the comments below. What characters do you think need a voice? And with that being said, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.